The pig family just welcomed their new baby, moved into a new house, and with them came a whole new set of animation errors. Today, we're breaking down all the errors you missed in the new episodes. Like in the episode where Evie comes home for the first time, we noticed some pretty funny mistakes. When Daddy Pig is holding Evie, if we zoom in a bit, we can see that his arm phases right through Evie's face. It seems like Daddy Pig has acquired some new superpowers. One of baby Evie's most distinctive features is the little heart-shaped spot on one side of her cheek, a unique and super cute detail. And this next error is related to that spot. During this scene, when baby Evie turns her head from side to side, her heart-shaped spot disappears. Now both sides of her face look exactly the same. Now this next one is a logical error. When the pig family were heading towards the front door, we noticed a picture frame on the wall. And in the picture, we can see Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa, George, and Evie. But the mistake is, this episode is supposed to show Evie's very first day at home, which means she was in the hospital this whole time. So, how did the pig family already manage to go out for a pizza with Evie? This doesn't make any sense. In the episode Basketball, Daddy Pig comes to playgroup to teach Peppa, George, and their friends how to play basketball. And in one scene, when Peppa and Susie are talking, we noticed a weird error. Look at Susie's hands, one of them is grey and the other one is white. And that's not all. In this scene, George passes the ball to Zoe Zebra, and she catches it. But look at her tail, it looks different than what it's normally like. There is no fur on her tail, but when she's about to throw the ball, her tail becomes normal for a split second. Now, that's a weird mistake, isn't it? In the episode Detective Peppa, Peppa and George are playing detective to find Teddy. When Peppa enters her room, we can notice that there's a path of breadcrumbs leading the way. Later, when Peppa starts asking questions to Daddy Pig, we can notice that the crumbs aren't there anymore. And that's not all. Later, when Peppa gets out of her bed after finding Teddy, the crumbs are visible again. But the issue is, they are now closer to the door instead of window. Earlier, the crumbs led all the way to the window. Maybe Daddy Pig ate those crumbs. Going back to the EVIE episode, we noticed one more error in it. When Peppa, George, and Daddy Pig are painting Evie's room, we can see the sun through the window. And after they finish painting the room, we can see it has gotten dark outside. But the mistake is, the sun is still in the same position as before. Now we know that sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But in Peppa's world, it seems like the sun rises and sets in the same direction. Moving on, in the episode Hide and Seek, we can see the entire pig family sitting in their living room. Now look around the room. There is an obvious mistake here. Did you find it? Well, the TV is missing here. In every other episode, there used to be a TV here, but in this episode, it's gone. In the episode Mr. Fox's Shop, we noticed a bunch of weird mistakes. When the pig family is about to enter Mr. Fox's shop, we can see that George is holding a piggy bank. But right when they get inside the shop, the piggy bank is missing. No one is holding piggy bank, so where did it go? Unless Mr. Fox stole it, this is an animation error. And later in the episode, when Peppa decides to buy the teddy bear, we can see George holding the same piggy bank that disappeared. In the episode Not Very Well, when Dr. Bear arrives at Peppa's house, George is first seen standing in front of Daddy Pig. Moments later, he is standing between Mummy and Daddy Pig, and then he is standing in front of Mummy Pig. It seems like George can teleport now. And also look at this dinosaur drawing under the clock, because by the end of the episode, it disappears. And that's not all. When Dr. Bear pours the medicine on a spoon, only one drop comes out of the bottle. But the way he's holding the bottle, all of the medicine should have spilled out. Moving on, in the episode Daddy Pig Loses His Glasses, we noticed a bunch of mistakes. Right at the beginning of the episode, we see Peppa and George are watching Mr. and Mrs. Potato on TV. When both of them fall down while laughing, Mr. Potato's hat falls down, but Mrs. Potato's flower doesn't. When Peppa and George enter their parents' room, a vase can be seen standing next to window, but later it is standing next to closet. Also, look at these 3 lipsticks on the dressing table. They first stand normally, but when Peppa and George leave the parents' room, the lipsticks move to right a bit. There is no way someone could move them. At the bathroom, we noticed a weird error. Look at Peppa's position here. Peppa is behind George. But when George checks bathtub and the scene zooms out, we can see that Peppa is now checking the toilet seat. But how's this possible? She was behind George, and we did not see her going to that side. In the episode, Mr. Potato Comes to Town, when everyone is waiting for Mr. Potato outside the sports center, we can see that Grandma Pig is also there, and as usual, she's wearing her hat. But when Peppa and her family arrive at the sports center, Granny Pig's hat disappears. And that's not all. When Mr. Potato cuts the ribbon and opens the door, we can see a lot of people are already in the building before it opened. How's this even possible? Additionally, a lot of the people seen in the building were outside just a moment ago. When Mr. Potato is talking to the kids, we can see two paintings in the background. Now focus on this dumbbell painting. When Susie starts talking, this painting flips and changes direction. In the episode The Museum, Peppa goes to a museum with her family. She's exploring the museum and having a lot of fun. And in one of the scenes, where Peppa is looking at a crown on a shelf, we can see that in the background there's a plain purple wall behind her. But when it zooms to Peppa, we don't see the purple wall, but instead, we see a glass cabinet. But in the scene earlier, it was just a purple wall behind her. In the episode Captain Daddy Pig, the pig family is going on a boating trip. Now look at this metal pole on the boat. There's nothing on it. But seconds later, a bell magically appears. In the same episode, we found another weird error. Look at the picnic blanket. You can see it's filled with variety of food items. But moments later, when Peppa and George start feeding the ducks, the scene zooms out, and the food that was on the picnic blanket is no longer there. This is definitely a mistake, because we don't think Daddy Pig was able to devour the entire food within seconds. Now this next error is also a weird one, when Peppa and George go running towards Mummy Pig. Now remember their position here. It's George, and behind him is Peppa. But when the scene zooms out, their position has interchanged. Later in the episode, the pig family returns from the boating trip. And if we look at the end part of the boat, there's nothing there. But seconds later, a piece of metal appears out of nowhere. Seriously, this boat seems to be magical. In the episode where Peppa and her family are making a banana split, we noticed some weird errors. At the beginning, when Peppa asks Grandma Pig what a banana split is, there's a wooden board with a knife and 5 bananas on the table. After Grandma and George each take 1 banana, we notice that the wooden board is no longer there and only 2 bananas remain on the plate. And also, mysteriously, there is another banana in the ice cream cup. This kitchen seriously seems to be magical. In the episode Madame Gazelle House, Peppa, George, Mummy and Daddy Pig have gone to visit Madame Gazelle. When they get into the house, the family soon realize that her house is being pushed over by the tall tree next to it. Now look carefully. Here we can see there's nothing on the tree's branch. But later in the episode, when Mr. Bull climbs up the tree, we can notice an owl, a bird's nest and a beehive. But earlier, we clearly saw there was nothing on the tree. In the episode, Granny Sheep moves in. Peppa and Susie are playing games at Susie's house. Moments later, Mummy Sheep comes in to clean up the room. Now watch carefully. Mummy Sheep carries 3 cardboard boxes and goes into another room. But the mistake is, when they reach the other room, the color of the cardboard box on the top changes to white. But earlier, all the boxes were of the same color. And that's not all. When Mummy Sheep puts down the boxes, the white box magically changes its color. Now, it's back to the original color. The cardboard box seems to have a mind of its own. Moving on, in the episode The Market, Peppa and family take a trip to the market to buy some items. After buying some apples, they go to Miss Cow's stall. Now, notice that Daddy Pig is holding a basket with apples in it, and Mummy Pig is standing right behind him. But the issue is, when Daddy Pig gets knocked off to the floor from the smell of the cheese, Mummy Pig and the basket disappear. And that's not all. Moments later, when the pig family goes to Mr. Fox's stall, he shows them a variety of items. Firstly, he shows them a wooden apple, and after that, he shows them plastic cheese. Notice that the wooden apple is still there. But when the scene zooms out, the wooden apple simply disappears. We're not surprised by this because there's always something fishy going on with Mr. Fox. So, these were some of the animation errors we noticed in new episodes of Peppa Pig, and as always, we'll see you all in the next video.